in the chat window. We are going to have a two parts. The first one is going to be recorded. It's going to be recorded, and we are going to go through some. Hello. We are going to go through few major charts, and the second part is going to be CAD related. We are going to have the CAD GDP within the next 29 minutes. And then depends on how it's gonna be, what's going to happen on the charts. Then we may stay a little bit longer. All right. So the first part, during that part, we are going to go through some majors, and the second part, it's not going to be recorded. It's going to be related to the CAD GDP. Any questions are welcome. So, okay, let's start. And let's start with euro dollar. Overall, most probably you do remember our previous analysis. Of course, it's still available on our blog. It's also available on our YouTube channel. So you may try to go through the longer term view, our view of euro dollar, short term view, and I would like to a bit speed it up here. All right. So overall, we were discussing that this kind of the bounce on euro dollar is very likely. All right. We missed perfect entry, or market missed perfect entry by 20 pips or so. If you remember, I was expecting something around 108.30, 108.40. All right. So this blue line based on the weekly chart, as you know, blue color weekly chart, and we miss it. So then false break, and we started slowly to move to the upside. We saw some kind of the profit taking, and right now, if you guys are going to make your own research, that's around 90 pips. That's around 90 pips, and right now we are slightly above 90 pips, as you saw here, the stop hunting. And guys, just before we started, I took the short at 110.26. My stop is quite wide because I do know, or I do different way. I do expect some barriers at 110.50, so my stop is 110.54 beat. Okay, so 28 pips is my stop. And I do expect the pullback towards 109.70, maybe different way. That's the high after ECB. All right. So that's why my stop is a little bit higher. The second thing is a barrier, possible barrier at 110.50. All right. So that actually two reasons why my stop is above 110.50. And I do expect, as long as we are in the market, as long as market is trading below my stop, I do expect pullback at least towards 109.80, 109.70, the zone here. My final target is gonna be 109.40. 109.40, 109.30. All right. So partial profit taking. That's why that's why I was so hurry at the very beginning of our live trading room, because just before we started, that was the possibility, in my opinion, to try to short it euro dollar, and I'm gonna to discuss the euro dollar a little bit more. Just let me present the levels we are looking for. All right, so something in between 10.30, 10.20, 10.30, that could be short opportunity on euro dollar. Stop if bid above 110.50. In my case, it's 110.54. As I explained, that's the top of the ECB and the barrier at 110.50. The first target is around 109.80-70. That's around today's open, a little bit below. And the second, the place where we started the swing low here yesterday, which corresponds here with those intraday levels. All right, so that's the case. That's the case if we are talking about the euro dollar. What we have to remember about is FOMC tomorrow, non-farm payrolls Friday, okay, and elections next week. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna fall in love with my position. I'm gonna be happy if market is going to allow me to take the profit on the first target and on the second, and that's gonna be fine for me. FOMC, okay, most probably similar as Bank of Japan and RBA earlier today during Tokyo session. That could be FOMC. The same, that could be non-event. Tomorrow, just as a reminder. All right. Then Friday non-farm payrolls could be non-event as well, because of the election next week, right? So the big money may wait a little bit longer before involved. So yeah, especially that similar like last Friday, there may be some rumors, speculations, whatever, right? All right. So that's, again, the euro dollar is a like short term, maybe even intraday position. Okay. In a little bit bigger picture, let's switch to daily. Okay. We are right now here. in any kind of I don't know, hesitation or maybe further US dollar profit taking may push prices higher towards 110 110.75, 11.10, maybe even 11.35. All right. So in my opinion, as we are still medium long-term dollar bullish, so in that case, if we are gonna to hit something around 111, that could be the case to try to buy dollar, to try to go short euro dollar in that case over the medium long term with possible target at the bottom of that range on a weekly. And as I explained before a few times, breakdown of that range could provide 0.95. Just to be perfectly clear, and prove that I'm not trading blindly, once we are gonna to break and close above 14.50.15, that could be the case for 123, 125 on euro dollar, right? And I can imagine that it may happen. But anyway, right now, long dollar, in my opinion, make the sense, and that could be the trade around 111. If there are, or maybe let's leave questions for the second part of our meeting. Okay, so euro dollar, we are done with the euro dollar. Let's have a look on dollar yen. That's very interesting. That's very interesting thing here. As you remember, based on the weekly chart, okay. Again, I will remind about this trend line, and that was the reason. That was the reason why we were bullish when almost everyone else was very bearish on dollar yen. So that was the retest of this broken trend line. All right, but right now it's gonna be, or it could be a little bit tougher for the bulls, as we hit last week. We hit this visible supply on weekly, and I've mentioned about this. Of course, the zone is quite wide here. We saw the pullback from that level. All right, we saw the pullback from that level, and that's quite important. But as you may see, even the strange rumor about the new emails related to Clinton and stuff like this, blah blah blah, it was like 80 pips pullback. All right, then the stocks recovered quite nicely, and it wasn't that bad. Now what I would like to show you, let's switch to daily chart, and we are still within the very important zone from the bull's perspective on daily chart. I connected what I did, this green line here. Okay, what I did, I connected the tops of the black candles, falling candles, right? And last week on Thursday, we made a breakout. Now, depends on how we want to read that candle. This one, the black one from Friday, that could be only retest. The thing is, the bulls need to take out quickly the high from Thursday, Friday. So the bulls need to start to penetrate this supply from weekly. So the next possible target, that's gonna be 106.25, 106.50, and then 107, 107.50 again, based on the daily and weekly chart. So still quite positive, and as you may see here, that's the breakout candle, and we do have retest the demand. So I would say, as long as we are above 104.20, uh, 45.28. So let's make a note. Let's assume 104.30 to 20 on dollar yen. All right. That's I would say that's positive. So move down towards 104.50, maybe a little bit below. If market will start look for some stops to the downside intraday, on an intraday basis, that could be the opportunity to try to go along with tight stops. So let's switch to 30 minutes chart. All right. So based on intraday price action, that's the green zone based on the daily chart I described a second ago. All right. So as I mentioned, some move back towards 104.50, trying to hit some stops here. All right, and eventually long towards 105.50, 106.20, 106.50, 107, 107.50. That could make sense, especially the Bank of Japan earlier today didn't give. Okay, there was no further QE, nothing like this, but also the picture Bank of Japan painted earlier today, in my opinion, wasn't good from the yen bulls perspective. So I really do expect that the dollar yen got the chance to go higher, especially with the expectation of FOMC hike in December. So that's the Bank of Japan, that's the FOMC and dollar yen view. Of course, as you know, I like to have plan B. So of course, close on a daily basis below this green zone. That could be neutral to bearish on dollar yen, right? And as we have 10 minutes to Canadian GDP, so let me open the CAD chart. and briefly, of course, OPEC, so oil, has a huge influence for Canadian dollar, right? That's the one thing, but also Bank of Canada view also is very important, and looks like just 1 second, please. Oil broke down yesterday, and if there is no agreement within the OPEC about the freeze, that could be oil bearish, that could be cat bearish. If we are gonna to add a quiet dovish Bank of Canada, that may help with dollar cat going higher. The expectations into today's GDP number are weaker. So quickly, briefly, let me show you what I'm talking about. That's the weekly chart, and we are testing quite strong supply zone. All right. But if we are gonna to manage to move higher and close the whole week, so means on Friday close above 34.40, that could provide or that could confirm that market is ready to rally towards 140 medium long term. All right. Otherwise, back to 130 is gonna be possible, but to see the move back to 130 and lower, the oil should go back above 50, and Fed should disappoint, and Bank of Canada should turn very hawkish. That's not gonna happen in my opinion. So in that case, pullbacks on dollar cut could be good buying opportunity. Okay, so let's switch to daily chart. Quite wide on a daily chart. Possible demand, and let's have a look how it looks on a 30-minute chart. And on a 30-minute chart, we are within the rising channel. So it depends on the outcome of GDP. We may see some kind of, because overall there is a dollar correction going on the market right now. But in case of the very weak number, what we may see, market may want to look for some stops to the downside, get back into the channel, and retest 134.30, 134.40 again. All right. If instead we are going to get better number, we may see. I'm not gonna buy or sell into the first market reaction. I would like to see what's going to happen Further, I would like to see some development. In case of better GDP number, we may see breakdown. We are going to have on a smaller time frame some kind of the supply. We may retest this supply and we may see further move down towards 132.80 more less. All right, so guys, that was the brief analysis of euro dollar, dollar yen, and USD CAD. I've recorded this one, so that's gonna be available on our YouTube channel. Let me stop the recording right now.